Today's the moment has come for us to give Joan a celebration for her life on earth. It makes my aching heart happy and grateful to be able to be part of this celebration and to be able to honor and thank her. And I thank you for this honor. There is a rule of 3 in writing and public speaking because according to Aristotle, our brains handle and remember things better in 3s. You'll hear this number many times. I remember the 3 things that FDR said: be sincere, be brief, and be seated. So I shall begin. Joan impacted my life in 3 ways: professionally, being part of her family, and most importantly to me was our friendship. In all of these, Joan had purpose. Number 1, in professional life, she had 3 purposes: to provide the best experience for her clients, to provide the best guidance for her agents, and to provide her wisdom and insight to better our realtor community. Here's what the Las Vegas Board of Realtors wrote about Joan. Joan was licensed in Nevada since 1979. Her participation and accomplishments within the real estate community span decades and are far too numerous to mention. We all benefited from Joan's direct and timeless efforts. With her reputation of being direct and honest, she was one of the most important and influential realtors Las Vegas ever had. We were stronger with her among us. We will persevere in her absence. We will strive to honor her by following the examples that she set. There is no doubt that the impact Joan made on the association will be felt by generations to come. I think this tribute could not be said better for Joan's commitment to our realtor community. Joan had vision and wisdom to show us all how to make a difference in our profession. Number 2 was Joan's family, Joan's love. Joan had 3 siblings. Joan had 3 children, Chris, Tim, and Trish, and 3 grandchildren, Brandon, Ryan, and Clea. Joan's family purpose was to be a devoted, loving wife and have a stellar family, which she accomplished with her values, her discipline, and her never-ending love. I met Joan January 1, 1990, when John and I joined RE/MAX Advantage. Back then, we spent our days in the office when not with clients. We were at the office the day in January of 1992 when Joan got the call that Bob had passed away suddenly in California. Bob was only 52. Joan's role changed as she became the head of the household and with 3 children, along with being the proud new owner of RE/MAX Advantage. Her devotion and love never waned. Over 3 decades and 2 years, Joan and I were together. I watched her be that loving mother with her heart and her soul, with still the commander of discipline, which gave Chris, Tim, and Trish stability and security through their trials, tribulations, and many successes. There is just one day in every year that's labeled Mother's Day. If Joan's worth were rightly weighed, every day would be Mother's Day. And now, most importantly for me, is friendship. And just like professional and family side, Joan was a friend with a purpose. Joan's purpose was to be a friend. She gave love, time, and strength to our friendship. In 1994, Tony Delgado became John's best client. They bought real estate, fixed it up, and then John sold it. Rinse and repeat was their marching orders. Around 1996, Joan showed some vulnerability, and I sensed a bit of loneliness for companionship. So John and I invited Tony and Joan to our home for dinner. Neither one of them knew the other one was coming. They just thought we were having a party. The good news is that they got married. The bad news is that John lost his best client, and he didn't even get a referral. There were many jokes and jabs about that over the years. Joan and Tony married in 1997, and so we all went to Hong Kong for our honeymoons. my first of 3 trips to a foreign country across an ocean. Joan and Tony had a home in Mesquite where we went often to spend the weekend playing golf in every course we could find in Utah. Joan had bragging rights about her golf games, but I had her money in my monkey bag, and I still do. She could have 5 aces and I would get a royal flush. True dat. And then the breakup. John and I had left Remax Advantage and started Remax Central. Joan was upset. Well, really not after speaking for 3 to 6 months. Tony and I decided to step in and insist that we all get back together. This was a great day. There's a story called the Starfish Story, and it goes that a man was walking on the beach one morning after a storm, and in the distance he could see someone moving like a dancer. As he came closer, he saw that it was a young lady picking up starfish and gently throwing them into the ocean. He said, "Young lady, why are you throwing starfish into the ocean?" She responded, "Well, the sun is up and the tide is going out, and if I do not throw them into the sea, they will die." "But young lady, do you not realize there are miles of beach and thousands of starfish? You cannot possibly make a difference." The young lady listened politely, then bent down and picked up another starfish and threw it into the sea. She looked up and she said, "It made a difference for that one." Well, that one was me. Joan gave me the chance. She picked me up to be her friend. No, I wouldn't have died, but I would have not lived the good life as Joan's friend. Because of Joan, I had the honor of being friends with Sandy Thomas, who is the broker for Joan and Tim's second Remax office in Summerlin. Sandy wrote a beautiful tribute to Joan, which I'm going to read. "My dearest Joan, where do I begin? The first time I met you was when my buyer made an offer on one of your listed properties. We closed that deal and thought, what a ballbuster. I hope I never have to deal with her again. A few years later, I joined the Remax Advantage family at the Summerlin office. Once I found out that you were the owner, I thought, oh no, I'm in trouble. Nothing could be further from the truth. After a few encounters, I found you to be a lamb in wolf's clothing. When I mentioned to you, most people were afraid of you. You said, good, keeps them on their toes. Well, it was difficult to break through your exterior, but once I did, I knew I had a friend for life. I knew if you were here, you would be telling me what to write right now, so I'm channeling you. Joan, you always pushed me to be better, stronger, and more involved. I was always amazed at the outcome. I took your lead and followed your suggestions, becoming broker of your Summerlin office. Your response was always, I told you so, and you never believed me. Well, after being single in 2016, you invited me to join your poker group, which met every Saturday night with a revolving dinner party. I was not sure if you wanted me to keep busy after my divorce, have me cook for you, or take my money since I never played poker before. I came to the conclusion that it was a little bit of all of those. The last 5 years getting to know the real Joan was a gift from God. I found a friend, a confidant, and a part-time mom. You have always been there for me with any help I have needed personally and professionally. I cherish the time I was able to spend with you every Saturday for the last 5 years, as well as at work. The love you have for Tony, your children, and your grandchildren were second to none. The way you spoke of all of them was admirable. I know they meant the world to you, and you were so proud of all of them. I heard it all the time. Joan, your affinity for good food, not necessarily fine dining, and good times was shared by us. I was so fortunate to be able to share the food, the drinks, the fun, the laughter, and experiences with you. I will never forget the precious time we have had together. I love you and hope you still love me. Bye for now, Sandy. That's beautiful, Sandy. Well, I love numbers, They helped me in my life to put it into perspective. It's amazing that I was blessed with a friend for over 3 decades. Why, Joan even insists on naming one of our dogs, and she named him Rocky. All the good times spent with Joan are like crystals, never to be forgotten. I did lose count of how many Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas brunches, and all the birthdays. Many New Year's Eve we would spend at our home playing cards, not going out, having dinner at home, watching the fireworks, and Joan and Tony would spend the night. We had a sleepover. New Year's Day we went to John's favorite, the Jasmine at Bellagio, for their famous dim sum, and it became our tradition. Then we could all watch John eat 2 dozen of chicken feet. All these times we spent together, one stands out and has deep meaning. In October of 2010, Joan and Tony traveled to Santa Barbara, where we had to move temporarily for 4 months. They came to give me and John support when he had a dangerous cancer, which was life-threatening. They spent a couple of nights with us. And of course, we laughed and played cards. And Joan, with all her wisdom, never mentioned the C word. Joan, Tony, and I played cards roughly 1,000 times in many different places. Hong Kong, St. John's Island, Hawaii, Jensen Beach, Florida, Toronto, Canada, Denver, Colorado, Phoenix, Del Mar, California, Santa Barbara, San Francisco, Mesquite, and of course, Las Vegas. We enjoyed hundreds of bottles of wine too. Sandy played poker with us for at least 300 nights and cooked over 100 delicious dinners, and of course drank some of those hundreds of bottles of wine. Well, remember that FDR who said, be sincere, be brief, be seated. So I shall close with my tribute. When times were difficult, Joan could always put a smile on my face, and Joan always held her head high to show me what it looks like to finish strong. And so to that, one of my favorite shows is The Golden Girls. I see 3 girls this way. Identify Joan as Dorothy. She was statuesque. She had the ability to accurately assess situations, sometimes tell you what you didn't want to hear. She was academic, astute, and direct, just like Dorothy. I see Sandy as Blanche, feisty, fearless, fun-loving, adventuresome, and energetic. And I see me as lighthearted Rose, just telling my long, boring stories. And as John and Joan always would tell me, land the plane, Ruthie. My closing for my friend and my pal are summed up in a song. Play along, sing along if you'd like.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me. The card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me. And the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.
Thank you, everybody, and let's go celebrate Joan's life.